Hopefully you noticed some familiar faces as pub portraits hanging on the walls of our larger Leaky Cauldron for our Wizarding World Halloween 2025. Eerie Elegance has been filming original moving portraits since 2012, and 3 of those were included on our pub walls using 13-year-old screens. The other 6 were new and honored original Halloween Helper cast members from our first Diagon Alley. It was so much fun to see my friends improvise what to do as moving portraits. Glenn, as Scotty MacLockhart, had a position of honor above the fireplace, since he had the funniest quotes. If you listen carefully, I couldn't edit out all my muffled laughter at his live performances. Over the summer, we set up our large green screen hanging on the back wall of our theater room, thankfully in air conditioning.
Welcome to Leaky Cauldron!
With a smaller green screen fabric on the floor, so I had the maximum flexibility for backgrounds later. I brought in fancy chairs, fun props, and costume closet options, but Quidditch Jen, Madam Sid, and Lady Sheila brought their own outfits. I knew the easiest way to make a clean, seamless loop was for the subject to leave the frame, but we also tried Lady Sheila falling asleep as a loop point, which worked pretty well. We might have tempted Glenn with some hot pumpkin bread action. Thankfully, the green screen keying and video editing went fairly quickly, since I needed time to figure out the fancy frames and the video panels. Easiest would be to cut a hole and hide the edges of your video panel behind the wall, but we reused these stage flats for different themes. Since my endgame is a year-round digital portrait gallery in our Victorian home, I've been searching for antique frames that fit well enough with larger video panel sizes. Most video panels are now 16:9 aspect ratio, where older fancy frames are more 4:3 or other ratios, so I created decorative mats inside the frame edges by wrapping fabric over scrap cardboard to hide the digital differences. For these, I made some spring clips from galvanized pipe strap tape, so the frame hung on the panel, and the panel used the included wall mount hardware to the stage flats. I could set the digital photo frames by remote before adding the fancy frame, and they would autoplay when powered on, but for the one Roku TV portrait, I had to use the remote to set it up every night before showtime. The larger digital photo frames I found this year ran on DC power for safer electrical, but unfortunately their audio did not go high enough to hear any of the new portraits talking over the ambient crowd noise, so you couldn't hear requests for butterbeer or offers of firewhiskey.
Butterbeer?
Care for a firewhiskey?
Only a rude belch once in a while. At least we could hear Scotty MacLockhart's jokes, since he was on a Roku TV with the volume cranked up.
You know, when I was 12, I was just as much of a nobody as all of you.